Hey, okay, so there's this like really great podcast that I listen to. It's called Founders by David Senra. And so I've listened to like half the episode. There's like, I think almost like 400 episodes, like a lot of episodes. But I've just listened to this very recent one about Sam Zell, who was one of the wealthiest real estate developers and investors, like, in the history of the United States. And he's did a lot of things. But they were like, from this episode on Sam Zell, and I think there's multiple episodes on Sam Zell, but the recent one was I think it's called the Contrarian Mind of Sam Zell. And I got like two things out of this episode. One of them is how he was very direct and didn't waste time, and basically you always knew where you stood with him. And so he didn't beat around the bush. It wasn't subtlety was lost on him. And he would just get right down to the point. And I think that too many people like cloak things and what they think is polite corporate speech and things like that, whereas they should just like get right to the point, say what they mean. And people will hear that. I think people resonate to that kind of direct, manner. And the other thing is intellectual curiosity. And so really the guy died like in his late 80s. But he just, up until like literally like the time he died, like the guy just kept learning, and life was a journey about learning more and more out of every single business. I read about founders in this podcast series, and a lot of other places, but people in my own like experience, like people that are intellectually curious, that constantly want to learn more and more. And like, it's like there's this great anecdote in the book about how he went to Mongolia and stayed like in the Genghis Khan hotel. And he says like basically when you're in Mongolia, like almost everything is named the Genghis Khan, like something like road, bridge, hotel, restaurant, I don't know, like everything's Genghis Khan there. But whatever, like he didn't actually have a business interest. He just went to Mongolia with somebody, and they just spent the time learning about Mongolia, and he just wanted to know about Mongolia. And I think that's awesome. And so, but he really, like with everything, like, ski resorts and like, in Northern Idaho, and, the newspaper industry, which he ended up investing in, and a lot of things, but just kept learning. So like, to me, like that's, I don't know, I just think learning is fun. And so anyway, intellectual curiosity was like probably the main lesson I took from this particular episode of the Founders Podcast.